Hi there, LinkedIn family. Jonathan here from Some Talented People. So, a very good friend in my connections in my network here, Jill McKay, sent me some links to some videos about coaching and neuroscience and how the brain and how the psychology makes such a difference in the effects and the effectiveness of coaching. And I'm watching these videos, and it was the second one of three, and this bloke comes on. I don't remember his name because I've clipped the bit out of it now, so you'll recognize him, see who it is, but OMG again. So I've tried to explain how things occur to me in my mind and my perceptions, and certainly there's a lot to be said for being dyslexic, because I read in that book, The Gift of Dyslexia, very much about me. And this clip I'm going to put after me, it really is like he's describing the experience I have when I absorb world data. It's from potentiality to reality, and that's kind of like what I see. I see the potential. Now, do I see the real potential? Am I aware of some force that exists but other people can't see? I'm not sure at this stage. All I do know is that this tape explained it, and I thought that's a good metaphor. So I thought I would share it with you. Ultimately, we're all connected here on LinkedIn, and we're hoping to, be successful in business and what have you. I think I would say this, that as I think about myself more and more, narcissistic, but as I think and reflect on my perspectives, the reality is this: you cannot get what I have anywhere else. To my knowledge. So if you want to do something which is paradigm shifting, which helps hundreds of thousands of people, which is going to make a massive tangent on human development, I'm your guy. I'm your guy because I can see things other people can't see. And I have an attitude to change, which is, come on, bring it on, come on. So enjoy the film. Have a good day. See you again.
Here's Daniel Siegel.
So I happened to have the opportunity to spend a week with 150 physicists. And I had already said decades before that the mind seems to be an emergent property of energy flow. And these were the experts in energy, and certainly in the brain, electrochemical energy flow is what happens. But relationally, it's also energy flow. So I was really interested in the scientists who study energy. And of course, energy comes in different forms. And you remember you can remember this with the acronym CLIF. It has contours, locations, intensities, frequencies, and forms, like light energy in how we see each other, or sound energy, air molecules moving, or electrochemical energy in the brain. So if you stay at that level, there's not much there. But when you go with these physicists who I was with and say, what really is energy? They say this amazing thing. Energy is the movement from possibility to actuality. And when I heard that, I was baffled. Like, what does that mean? Possibility to actuality. But when I started drawing it out and started making these drawings that you'll see my daughter, Maddie Siegel, did in this book, I can show you this book, Aware. I can show you some of the drawings if you want. What Maddie was able to do was to draw out for me better than my hands can do, a way of seeing that the movement from possibility to actuality is basically a journey from what's called in physics the formless source of all form, also called the quantum vacuum, that on this diagram Maddie was able to draw, it's like a plane. So we call it the plane of possibility. It's where potentiality sits before it's activated with the flow of energy into probabilities and then actuality. So a probability would be like, a possibility would be, let's say you and I share 1 million words, I don't say one. It's this nearly infinite possibility, and your chance of knowing it is 1 out of 1 million. So at the bottom is maximal uncertainty, which is also maximal possibility, right? So it's where all the possibilities are sitting. Now, if I'm only then going to think of 5 oceans, then it's going to become a plateau where I've taken 5 of the million, put it up into a higher level on this graph that you'll see if you see the book, you know, and that we call a plateau of increased probability. Your chance of knowing now is 1 out of 5, so 20%. But then once I say Indian Ocean, it goes from the plateau up to a peak. So I think when we say the proposal that mind is an emergent property of energy flow, according to physicists, is the movement from possibility to actuality across these series of probabilities. So a state of mind would be a plateau, like I'm in the state of mind to give you one of the 5 oceans, or I'm in a tennis playing state of mind, so I have just the skills of tennis playing. But when I do my swing, or when I give you one of the oceans, it comes up as a peak. So a thought, an emotion, a memory is a peak, a state of mind or mood or intention is a plateau. But then when you say, well, what about being aware? And then, oh my gosh, Joel, when this first sort of flooded over me as a possibility, I went nuts. And I said, oh my gosh, if the rim of that wheel is a metaphor correlating with plateaus and peaks, it looks like, as a proposal, the hub is the plane of possibility. And the reason being aware is so helpful is not just that it lets you pause between an impulse and an action, but it drops the energy position into the formless source of all form, where other options are sitting and waiting. So when I work with people in organizations who are stuck creatively, I do the wheel with them. They access this hub, you know, through the practice, but it's really the plane of possibility. To answer your question, my thought about it could be wrong, it could be partially true, or it might be actually correct, you know, but let's assume for a moment it's correct. In these organizations, when they teach their workers to drop into the plane of possibility, instead of being caught into one problem-solving strategy of a plateau with only certain peaks that come out, and it's not working, they do the wheel, they drop into the plane, you know, the hub, and that's the plane, that's the hub is the metaphor, the plane is the proposed mechanism. They're not only opening up and getting, you know, this calm, joyful, love-filled, interconnected space of presence, but that's where the other options are sitting. So they allow integration, the bringing up of new combinations to arise, so that creativity, not just consciousness, emerges from integration. And the plane of possibility is the portal through which integration is allowed to arise.